Well, hello, this is Dr. Daryl D. Green. This is MKTG 4373, Small Business Marketing, and you are in for a treat. Our students have been working with corporate and business sponsors, and you are seeing the results of that. We like to call it micro internship. So the presentations are 6 minutes. I will be your moderator. We have some celebrity reviewers that's going to be providing constructive feedback to the students. So I'm going to introduce them at this time. If they would briefly introduce themselves, their name, and their affiliation. We're gonna start with ladies first. We're gonna start with Miss Ross.
Hi, my name is Lisa Roth. I graduated from OBU in '92, and I am currently the manager of marketing support for Love's Travel Stops.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. We have Miss Laura Hagens.
Good afternoon. I'm Lori, and I work in the Office of Career Development at OBU.
Thank you so much. We have Miss Hughes.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Lavita Hughes, and I'm the Network Development Manager at Ivy Tech in Lake County, Indiana.
We have the distinguished Dr. Trina Jackson.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Trina Lynch Jackson from Ivy Tech Community College over the entrepreneurship program.
All right, and we have we have an observer, Charles Ackley. Could you just say hello to our class? They know you well.
It's nice to see you all again.
Okay, good deal. And Mr. Brandon Gilbert.
Hello, good people. Class of 2011, Brandon Gilbert. I'm in enterprise field sales in the cybersecurity space.
So we're going to get this started. Again, we're going to ask our reviewers. They're going to provide constructive feedback. I have an order. I'm going to go list in order. The students are going to present. Their presentations are 6 minutes, constructive feedback. We call this rapid fire. So we're going to, the reviewers have 15 or 30 seconds to make a statement or comment, and the students have a response at that same time. And so we're going to get started. So the presentation order is going to be Team 1, Team 3, Team 4, Team 2, and Team 5. And we're going to use our reactions at the bottom of your screen because we like to excel in Zoom. So we want to actually do reaction and applause. So at this point, Team 1, you're up. Team 1, you're up.
All right, I'm going to share. Can everybody see this?
Yes, you're good.
All right.
Okay. Hello, everyone. We are Team 1, and this is our final presentation. So get to know our team a little. Myself, Lindsay Baird, I was the team lead this semester, and I was just the main communicator of our group, and my mentor was Callie Mogg. And then we have Graham Stiefel. He was our social media manager, and his mentor was Matt McAllister, and Thomas Mado, who was our content creator, and his mentor was Yosef McHale. So a little agenda. First, we're going to go over our organizational background, scope of work, analysis, goals and strategy, detailed schedule, results, our client feedback, and conclusion. So our client this semester was Waldo Solano, who owns Salsa Knox. Salsa Knox is a Latin dance school. They offer classes from the beginner level all the way through the advanced levels. They do in-person and online training. And it is co-owned by Waldo Solano and Jacqueline Solano. And they founded that business in 2008. Waldo was inspired by a dance company at Atlanta, Georgia, who was able to mentor him. And the studio is located in Knoxville, Tennessee, which means that all of our communication this semester was via Zoom. So our scope of work, our client explained to us that he wanted this micro internship to be less about Salsa Knox and more about his personal brand. He really wants to branch out and become more known as a business coach rather than just the co-owner of Salsa Knox. And So the first thing that we wanted to do was get him an email list. So we created a lead magnet so that he could gather potential emails of people that he would be working with. And then we created some blog posts to post to his website so that he could gain credibility and people would know that he knows what he's talking about. He has good advice to offer. And then lastly, we did a marketing campaign through Facebook. We ran a few analysis just to get a good idea of where he was at currently and where we could move forward and how we could help him grow his personal brand. So we did a SWOT analysis, testing the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, a stoplight analysis, and a web analysis.
Yeah, and today we'll be highlighting the stoplight analysis. We'll be going more in depth with that. So the first light was the red light. The red light indicates something that really needs to be touched on and needs to be worked on for his business. So that was his mission statement. His mission statement was not clearly stated on the website or anywhere of his social media platforms. So that was something that we mentioned to him, and we recommended that he adds to all his social media pages and his website. So that way customers can clearly understand what his mission is. Next would be the yellow light, which is something that indicates it is not as bad, but it's not as good as either, and something that needs to be worked on. His product, like Lindsay said, he was trying to transition over to his lead magnet being his personal brand. So that's something that needs to be clearly stated throughout all his platforms. And then his online presence, he just needs a stronger SEO on his website, and then also a stronger presence through all his social media networks. Everything that was under the green was his marketing strategy being there, him establishing a means of differentiation, and him effectively using his communication channels. Marketing strategy, again, was his, the lead magnet was his course, him trying to attract business dance instructors to buy this course and be able to better their business. We were also able to implement blog posts for him and get those uploaded on his website. And then we were also able to run some social media campaigns and post graphics onto his Facebook. Our detailed schedule in February was mainly to identify his problems and set out his goals. And then in March, we were able to get those blog posts rolled out. And then in April, we were able to launch our Facebook campaign for him and release posts and even do a media release for him. And then in the month of May was preparing for this presentation here.
So these are two of the graphics that we made for Waldo on his social media campaign. These were both to advertise his lead magnet, his course. I'll dive into the results. Before I hop into the results, I'll sort of explain them. As Lindsay was saying, our goal was to get emails for his email list. So whenever his product or his course is ready, he can email the course link directly to these people. So these are the analytics from our blog post. We had 1,000 impressions on the blogs that we wrote and 21 opt-ins. So that's what we were looking for. 21 people gave their email to Waldo, which we felt pretty happy about, because now he can use those emails whenever that course is uploaded and have direct contact with some of those consumers. This is our client feedback. I'll just read a little excerpt from Waldo directly. The internship was a great experience for me. Oh, sorry, my Zoom is in the way. Great experience for me. The team was helpful and educational for me. Thank you for all the work you guys did for me. I'll start us off with our lessons learned. My lesson learned was solidify the client's objectives. It was really important for us that whenever we started this internship, that we knew exactly what he was looking for.
My lesson learned was just to set realistic goals for ourselves and keep our client educated on how we're doing. I didn't want to overpromise because we are all students and we have busy schedules. So we wanted to help our client as much as we could, but also be realistic at the same time.
Yeah, and then the lesson I learned was that creativity is key to marketing and differentiating against competitors. Really wanted to stand out against competitors is a big deal for businesses. And I think that's what Waldo was really trying to accomplish here. And that's what the emphasis was for us.
So in conclusion, we felt very successful in the internship, had a great time. salsa dance lessons was a territory that none of us had really been involved in, but it was a great learning opportunity. The client himself was actually very knowledgeable in marketing, so I feel like we learned a lot from him, and we got to use a lot of AI technology incorporated into the work that we did. So overall, it was very helpful. We're thankful for Waldo for the opportunity to work, and Dr. Green for the opportunity to participate in the internship. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Unshare your screen. Your presentation was 6 minutes and 58 seconds, which is within the parameters that we set. So we're going to do the order. Since we have some experts, Ms. Higgins has been working with the students, and we're going to have Mr. Gilbert start last. So the rotation is going to be Ms. Higgins, Ms. Roth, Jackson, and Hughes, followed by Mr. Gilbert. So Ms. Higgins, you're up.
Hey, good presentation. I wasn't there for the prelim, so I'm not sure what changed since the other day, but good job, good information. It sounds like, from what I understand, you were trying to help him brand a whole new side of his business. Is that correct? Okay. Okay. So I
Yes.
do have one question. Why the stoplight analysis instead of the SWOT? Educate me, please.
We really wanted to highlight we really wanted to highlight all the good things that he's done. So that's why in the stoplight analysis, there was a lot more green versus the yellow and red, because Waldo Solano is a really smart, educated client. He's already had everything really established. So the really thing that needed to be pointed out in the red was his mission statement. So we felt like that was a better analysis to go off of and to really highlight those factors for him and his business.
Okay, thank you.
Mr.
I'll pass
Roth,
it off.
thank you. Ms. Roth.
Really great presentation, you guys. I think it's always interesting when you get into an industry that is unusual, and I'm guessing that you guys didn't have any experience in Latin dance. Is that right? So as you can imagine, jumping into the travel stop and truck driving business was kind of unique for me. I'd really be interested to know, how did you dive into this industry, and did you do any independent research outside of what your client was able to tell you?
Yeah, so in our initial meeting with Waldo, it lasted a lot longer than we expected, just because we kept just asking a lot of questions because we really didn't know a lot. And we just had him explain, like, okay, who really is your target market? I mean, who's coming to these dance lessons? What are they like? What do they want? We kind of felt at first a little like, I don't know, scared, because we just didn't know who to market to. But we did do some research before we got started. I looked at a lot of different companies that offer dance lessons and also business coaching for dance instructors, which is a very unique industry. But there are people out there, and we did look at those first and compare ourselves.
Great job.
Jackson.
I just have a few questions of this outstanding group and the clarity on their presentation. Were you able to find out anything about how he was able to pivot based on the pandemic with his business?
I'll speak to that. I don't really remember him specifically speaking about his pandemic, but sort of the lane that we were doing for Waldo was a complete pivot from anything he had ever done besides the pandemic. So we really weren't working with kind of what he had started. We were sort of starting a new branch of his business. So we really didn't talk about much of the COVID impact.
Well, great job on understanding the entrepreneurial mindset specifically of that particular business. I'm sure all of you are now, you're coaching, you're mentoring. So again, an exceptional job. And I really like the spotlight analysis, and I'm going to steal that for the future of many of our students as well. Thank you, Dr. Green.
Hey, Amy, we thank you. Now with Ms. Hughes.
Yes, hi. I wanted to ditto everyone else's comment on, it was a great presentation. I was very impressed. Dr. Jackson, you may have to mute we're in the same room together because our students are in the classroom. Okay. I liked the scope of work section that you were able to hone in on exactly what you know the client needed and support them with that to not have you get lost in the sauce of whatever else they may have going on. So I like that focus. I definitely like the spotlight analysis section. I loved your visuals and I like that you worked well as a team. I'm sure that I don't know what may have happened on the side on the process of getting to this point, but I just want to acknowledge you all for showing a good presentation together and showing what teamwork represents.
Thank you so much for those. So now we have the accountability. Mr. Gilbert has been working with him, so you have the last say.
That's right. I did see the pre-work, so I know what they improved on in the past couple of days. And I gotta say, y'all took the feedback and ran with it. So for example, I noticed the formatting differences on the PowerPoint. I saw that you added pictures. The transitions were much more natural. Sounded so good. Everyone sounded crisper. I want to point out Lindsay in particular, the way you started that presentation was professional. It was very, very crisp. My one critique, and I'm saying this because I know you know the information. Thomas, eliminate your filler words when you're talking to the stoplight chart. I know that you know the information because one of the reviewers asked you why you chose stoplight instead of SWAT, and you were able to elocute that properly. So I know you know the information. Just step into the moment, own it, and deliver. You got this.
Great, great job, all reviewers, great points. So let's give a virtual applause for Team 1. Give us a look down at the bottom, give us a reaction, give us something positive. Thank you so much. Next up, Team 3, you're up. Team 3, you're up.
All right, can everybody see my screen?
You're good.
Perfect. All right, so we are Team 3. My team consisted of myself and Chase Chester. Our client this semester was Mattress by Appointment in Shawnee. So this is just our team. I was the team lead and head of communication. My mentor this semester was Julia Lewis, and then Chase Chester, sorry. He was the co-lead and creative developer, and then his mentor was Nathan Sosa. Just real quick, going over our agenda, we're gonna highlight our organizational background, our client's problem, do a little analysis, do the marketing strategy, go over our detailed schedule, our results and recommendations, and then just highlight our client feedback and our lessons learned, and then our conclusion. So a little organizational background, our client was Michael Pelter, who recently bought the Mattress by Appointment about this time last year. When I asked him why he bought the Mattress by Appointment, he said it was just a good family investment. Right now, he is a full-time college minister at Emmanuel Baptist Church of Shawnee. And so he just found Mattress by Appointment a good gateway to kind of minister to the community of Shawnee in a way that he couldn't have just staying at the church. So it's kind of like a side hustle for him. And it was just a challenge and opportunity for him to learn. So our client's problem was that on Google, when you Googled the store, the storefront was not accurate. The old location was what was advertised. Reviews were difficult to access for customers, and little traditional marketing was in place. So just highlighting our analysis, we conducted 3 different analyses. We did a SWOT analysis, which really showed us what our client did well, his strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And then the stoplight just highlighted what was and wasn't going well within the business. And then the web analysis, just kind of, we were able to analyze where he was at digitally. And so through these analysis, we developed our marketing strategy, which Chase will highlight on a little bit more.
Yes. So for his marketing strategy, what we kind of focused in first and foremost was when you look up Mattress by Appointment, the correct location would pull up. And then we had to make sure that people could leave him 5-star reviews, because I know that's very important for many people out in the community, and along with spreading the word through different other means of marketing. And then here's our schedule. February, we kicked it off, just kind of figured out what we needed to address. And then March, we just started to focus in on some of the things, like we made the QR codes so you can leave a review while you're in the store. And then April, we could develop some yard signs. There was also a tornado that came through Shawnee. Thankfully, his store was not affected. None of the products were. His storefront was, but none of the inventory. So glad for that. But we got to still continue to work on him despite that setback. And then these are what we made, just so you guys have visual examples. Our results, he increased brand awareness. We grew his Facebook page. He got to bring in more sales. Recommendations, we're going to continue to help him do some digital media and stuff as we pass it on to future hopeful micro internships with him. And then Michael is very thankful for our help. I'm really glad he got to pour into us. I'm glad I got to experience marketing. I'm an accounting major. I like taxes more than marketing usually, but thankfully I got this experience. And in conclusion, thank you guys, and we are open to any questions you guys have.
All right, thank you. Thank you, team 3. Since we have time, I am going to mention this. This team did not start off on a shaky ground, not due to their own, but the client they were working with fell through. And so we had to pivot. I don't know, toward the end of February, I think probably March, we had to pivot and had to start all over again. So that tells you the commitment that they have. Your presentation time, you can tell Mr. Gilbert, they have been working. They have 6 minutes. Their presentation was 3 minutes and 55 seconds. On that note, we're going to start again with Ms. Hagens, follow up Ms. Roth, Jackson, Hughes, Mr. Gilbert.
Good presentation, guys. And I know from my side, I get to actually see the responses from the people you worked with. And he was very pleased with you all. He appreciated the communication. And Chase, one of the things you pointed out is that you're an accounting major, but you really appreciated learning the marketing side. And he really appreciated your problem solving skills. So kudos to that accounting brain helping you out in the marketing area. So good presentation. I know that it sounds like his business is in a better place with you guys helping him.
Thank you so much, Roth.
So I'm going to kind of stick with the target audience theme that I had with the last presentation. Obviously, everybody needs a mattress, and I think sometimes your audience is so broad that it's harder to kind of really get to a niche market and speak to the right person. Did you guys encounter any problems kind of identifying who your market was and who's your target customer? How did that go?
So we actually did talk about this quite a bit. Just because when we developed our ads at first, I designed something that was kind of nicer, and Michael had told me that that doesn't really appeal to their target market. I don't want to say that they use not necessarily tacky, but just something that's that looks cheap almost. So just attracts that kind of audience just because their mattresses are cheaper and they draw in more people that way.
Good job, you guys.
Good deal. Jackson.
Applause to our digital natives. You are amazing. I like the idea of the yard signs. Who thought of the yard signs? I just think that's amazing.
So that's actually with Mattress by Appointment, it is a big organization, and then they have owners within that. And so they have special like quotas that they want their stores to meet, and so that's their part. But Michael just doesn't have the time to do that on his own because it is his like side gig type of deal. So we were able to just kind of pick up and do that aspect of it.
Well, great idea on the yard signs. And again, the visuals for both presentations were excellent. I especially like your visuals where you showed SWOT, the stoplight, and the web analysis. So again, thank you.
Good deal. Thank you so much, Dr. Jackson. Hughes?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so great presentation. I love your visuals. I love the diversity of your analysis. I like that you had different ways of making sure that your client got as much information as possible that will really benefit them. So I like the diversity of your analysis. And I like that you had so many details. And I like that you had specific outcomes that showed that you really made a difference. So overall, great job.
Good job. And the wrap up, we're gonna have Mr. Gilbert.
Yeah, so y'all did a great job. I think I said it even on the first go around, just the way that y'all set up the beginning of the presentation with the organizational background, the client profile is just really well done. I appreciate you explaining the different analysis and what they brought individually to the table to give you a more holistic view. I think that's the first time I've heard that in any presentation in multiple years now. Let me see those visuals just a half tick longer, right? You brought up the coupon and the discount and whatnot, and just let that moment breathe, because that's our chance to appreciate the work that you did, right? You can structure that in a presentation many ways, but I want to see what you did. And lastly, Chase, you mentioned that, you know, you're not a communications person, you're a numbers, finance, accounting. Typically people who are numbers people don't sound like you. So I really love the way that you still have the soft skills of excellent presentations, and that can really serve you well if you want to rise the ranks within a financial organization.
Thank you so much. Very useful comments. Let's give this team 3 a virtual applause. Okay. Let's try better. Okay. Next up is team 4. What I'm going to mention, team 4 had 2 clients and 1 client fell through. It's just we got to a point where we had to go no go. So they're up. Team 4, you're up.
All right, let me share my screen real quick and we'll get started.
I'm sorry, it was a different team. sorry,
Yeah,
sorry about the team 4. Different team, but this team's gonna be amazing because we're gonna take you around the world.
Yes, sir. All right. This set up. And is that working for everybody?
Loading. You're good.
All right. So yes, as Dr. Green said, we are team number 4, or as we like to call ourselves, Haggle, which is just the first letter of each our name: Hayden, Ashton, Lucky, and Greta, our client. And we worked with GK Office Services. So there's our team right there. My name's Hayden Cunningham. I was the team lead for this project. In the middle, we have Lucky Lazangi, and he was kind of our marketing person. He has lots of experience, actually runs his own business and has done a lot of social media marketing. And then on the right, we have Ashton Witt. She is a communications major, so she handled a lot of the contact back and forth with Greta, our client, and setting up emails and schedules and meetings and all of that. So our agenda today, first, we're going to talk about our client, and then we're going to move on to our marketing strategy, what we were doing in this project. And then we're going to continue on about our work scope, kind of show you some of the things that we did while in this project. And then number 4, we're going to go to our results and recommendations. And then we're going to finish it off with our lessons learned and finally our conclusion. So our client, this is GK Virtual Assistant. This is her business. Her name is Greta Kokolari, and she's actually from Albania. She lives there right now. And essentially what she does is she works with, be it business majors or just anybody doing a presentation. She can edit your Word document. She can edit your presentation and just make it all pretty, make it all look really well. She has both a website, which actually she's a former client with previous micro internships, and they helped her build her website. And she also has an Upwork account and Fiverr. So with that, with an already established website, we are kind of like, what are we going to do? Which we'll talk about in the next slide.
So for our marketing strategy, we chose to focus on growing Greta's social media presence. She had a very low social media presence and not very many followers or interactions with her posts. So we chose to focus on Instagram, and we did this by doing paid social media posts, promotional videos, and a media release. So for our detailed schedule in March, this is when we started our kickoff meeting, getting to know Greta and find out what she wanted from us. In April, we really started to implement what we told Greta we were going to work on. So that's where we implemented our social media campaign, promotional videos, and media release. And then in May is when we started gathering all our results from our campaign, and then we created our final presentation. So for the analysis for our client, we chose to focus on these 4 analyses: the stoplight, SWOT, Porter's 5 forces, and the PEST analysis. But in our next slide, we'll really highlight the stoplight analysis. So for the stoplight analysis, in the red are things that we thought our client needed to work on. So her social media presence, again, very low interactions, low followers. And then she has a lot of existing customers, which is great, shows the quality of her work, but she really wanted to expand her clientele. In the yellow, she has a quality website, but I just need to work on a little bit, some improvements from the last micro internship. They need to do kind of more personal touches with things like client reviews and promotional videos from them. And then the green are things she didn't need to work on. She's a highly skilled client, and she has over 200 5-star reviews on Fiverr.
When it came to her Instagram post and published video, we really wanted to highlight the skills that she had. For the video that we have on the left, we created a reel. For that reel, we used kind of a before and after effect that showed documents before she designed them, and then the documents after she worked on them, which was one of our best and most engaging posts. We really liked how it showcased her skills full on through. In the middle, we have a checklist, which we use as another post that showed things that she does well, such as engaging visuals, makes her presentations easy to follow, and she had great, clear content. And finally, to the right, we have our published article that we did, which was really another way or avenue for us to just highlight Greta and how amazing she was, and the things that we were able to help her with, but overall just showcase her skills once again. For our results, we had a great increase in Instagram followers, likes, along with engagement. We had a promotional video that we used as a post on Instagram, kind of our start off, which just showed off her logo, and as well as the things that she did well. For engagement monthly, we were able to increase that by roughly 800%, which we were really proud of. Lastly, for our recommendations, we think she should increase her social media budget for marketing, just because she is out of the country and it's hard to reach the customers that she wants without putting money into it. And she should continue her paid post as well, because it just brings more customers to her the more she puts in. For the lesson learned, I learned the importance of communication and adaptability. Just because she is, I'd say, overseas client, it was important for us to be able to communicate with her, understand the time differences that we faced, and work through that. And that's a high lesson I learned.
So kind of working off of Lucky's, my lesson learned was that cultural intelligence is useful when working with someone that is international. For example, we kind of had a slip up in our meetings. We didn't realize that daylight savings time affects Europe a week later than it does in the United States. So we had a little bit of problems there. So just kind of doing some research.
And then for me, the lesson I learned was that just social media marketing requires a lot of time and resources. And we ended up using money for our paid social posts. And it's one of those things where if we had had a bigger budget, we could have even made more posts and promoted them more. So in conclusion, we just want to give a big shout out and thank you to both Greta and Dr. Green. This has been a great, fun presentation, and one that has definitely built our experience and was just awesome overall. Greta was a fantastic client. She had great communication with us and was very flexible with us as our student schedules allowed.
Thank you. You might unshare your screen. Your presentation was about 6:59, borderline. So we will take that. So we're gonna go with, so this is one, we've been doing international since COVID. So we've been doing some international, we've been all the way to South Africa. So Albania was a different continent. So we're gonna go with, again, we're gonna go with Ms. Hagens, Roth, Jackson, Hughes, and final by Gilbert.
Okay, good presentation. I really like the way you showed the before document and the after document to show what her skill set would be and how, what she could do for clients. I think that's a great way to present herself. I will tell you, her feedback on you all was very good. She really appreciated the communication from you. She thought you had great teamwork. So that's awesome. And the professionalism. So as you think about your employment in the future and all, some of the things that you can remember is using those results and those percentage of increases in the social media posts and how you promote things. Those are good things to use on your resume. So I think I appreciate, there was one point I wasn't sure you were going to give me that. And then the next thing you gave the 800% or whatever increase. So results are always important.
Okay. Roth?
So just to echo what Lori's saying, as a hiring manager, I absolutely look at those things on your resumes, and it is important. Even if you think, well, this was just a college project, we still look at it because that's what we have to go off of. So definitely agree with you, Lori. I just really enjoyed the presentation. I thought you did a great job of having some good graphics, but not too much. It was interesting without taking away from the news that you were trying to put on the page. And my question really is just, other than the cultural side of things, what was the most challenging part of this project?
For me, I'd say it was our meeting time. We met pretty early in the morning just because that was the afternoon for her. So like being up early and being ready to work that early.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jackson.
Okay, digital natives. Now you're international digital natives based on your reach and scope, specifically as it relates to a new business, which is very popular. So the virtual assistant is extremely popular right now. So please make sure you have that on your resume. Great job on increasing her engagement as well. And now we understand the monetary consequences of not ensuring that you have budgeted monies to grow your business. So great job.
Thank you, Dr. Jackson. Hughes?
Another great presentation, and I want to acknowledge you for your teamwork and your level of professionalism. And as Ms. Roth stated, I don't understate that the fact that you're college students, that you don't take this seriously, because it may have been a project for you related to school, but it was her business. And so use this experience, yes, put it on your resume, and just carry it with you. You learn from these experiences, and just let these all be like lessons of learning and professionalism and things that you can also share for your own business and with other, friends who are going along the same path. So good job. Congratulations.
Thank you. And wrapping it up, Mr. Gilbert.
Yeah, I mean, this is another example of when I give criticism in the practice rounds, it's because I know that y'all can rise to the occasion, and you absolutely delivered in this presentation. Transitions, great. Using the slide as your foundation, but not your crutch, and presenting yourselves as experts, also great. One way that the other judges don't know the improvement that you made on that published media slide, there was a lot that y'all tweaked on there, and it was fantastic. So for example, that blue checklist item, I didn't know that that was an Instagram post before, because you just had the checklist, you had cropped it out, but instead you showed it in its totality and explained why that was important. And so not only did I have more examples of your work, I also understood why that work was valuable. Y'all did a very good job on this.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna address the audience if there are any reviewers. Oh, Ms. Hughes, raising your hand. Question.
Yes, on one of your pages where you did your analysis, there was one I hadn't heard of before, and I wanted, again, that was one of those pages that I wanted more time to look at. You had SWOT, you had oh, to write down
Porter's
the Porter's 5, and there was another one.
Pest.
Pest, yes. All right.
Can somebody explain pest analysis? Very quickly.
Yes, let me pull it up real quickly.
And I don't want
Um,
to interrupt this time. I just wanted to say that it was one of a learning thing for me, and I appreciate that.
If I remember correctly, I think it's about like political, economic, S stands for something, and technology, and basically how she utilizes that in her business and how she goes about, in this instance, freelancing with that.
Yeah, so look at kind of emphasize it's all the external forces that force companies to change, and you have to factor it in. Most small businesses don't factor in external forces. They believe they're the greatest, and they don't. Then that's one of the things we try to do. So great job, Team 4. Let's give them a virtual applause. Okay, our next team is Team 2. That was a team that started with two clients and ended it with one. Team 2, you're up.
All right, we are Team 2. My name is Roland McGowan. My teammates are Mia Modelmog and Bradley Keel. Mia is not here today because she's on the softball team and she is currently at the tournament.
Hey, Roland, nothing's there. Nothing's visible yet.
Oh, you can't see anything?
No, it's black. It's a black screen. As Roland pull those things up again. Okay, there we go. Great job.
And Bradley will be introducing us.
All right, hello everybody. We are Team 2 with Larry Gill, and it is me, Bradley Akile, Mia, and Roland. Our agenda for today is going over the client background, our client problem marketing strategy, analysis results, client feedback, lessons learned, and conclusion. For our client background, we had Larry Gill here in Shawnee, who owns a building with office space that he's needing to rent out or wanted to rent out to people that are looking for offices around the local area. And it is called the Masonic Temple, located at 23 East 9th Street in Shawnee, Oklahoma.
And this is Mia's slide, so I'm just gonna put her video on.
Hey, Roland, you need to make sure that you hit the check mark for the sound, and that'd be at the bottom when you unshare your screen. Do it again and share, and look at the bottom. You should be able to do that. So as I mentioned, as he does that, we practice. We learned a long time ago, Ms. Hagens, that we got to practice. We can't let our students just go do a presentation without praying. So you want to try it again?
Can you see my screen?
We can see it.
So for our client problem that Mr.
you
Larry
hear
Gill
that?
brought to us
Yes,
is that
great.
he wanted to market his office spaces that were available at the Masonic office building. We really wanted to bring awareness to the Shawnee community, especially about the office spaces available. So for our scope of work, we decided to find different channels to market his office space available and specifically to the Shawnee community. So for our So for our marketing strategy, we actually began our micro simulation with 2 clients, and we ended up parting ways with one client just due to her needs and what we could give her. So we learned a lot from that and kind of how we wanted to handle our situation with Mr. Larry Gill. So we decided to go into 2 campaigns earlier on we went into an Instagram campaign, and then later on we decided Facebook was going to fit the demographics a little bit better. So we decided to use that as our new marketing strategy. So throughout our micro simulation, we used about 4 different analysis to really kind of gauge what we wanted to do and to assess Mr. Gill in the Masonic office building space. So we did a stoplight analysis, which we'll go more in depth on here in just a minute. We did the marketing evaluation just to see kind of where he was at with his building and how it was being promoted previously. We did a pestle analysis, and we also did a Porter's 5 forces analysis. So for the stoplight analysis, we looked at different areas that could be improved, that have a lot of potential, and that were good to go for our marketing campaigns we were wanting to run. So we looked at the Masonic office building itself and looked at areas that needed improvement. So these were going to be that there was no social media channels to be used to market the building itself. There was also no posts, so there were no posts to be boosted to really spread the word to the Shawnee community. So the yellow areas of potential, this is going to be that Mr. Larry Gill did have a brand name for himself and was very apparent on social media, but again, the building itself was not, so it just didn't do the same thing we were wanting to do. The green area that was ready to roll and in good shape was going to be that the building is very unique, so therefore it is a very easy brand to promote. We just needed to find those channels that we wanted to promote it through.
So for our marketing schedule, we had about three months of work. In March, like Dr. Green said earlier, Mia was the head of the other client, so she was meeting with that client, and it just didn't work out. And so around March, early April, Mia started working. Me and Bradley started working with me with Larry, and then late April, so a couple weeks ago, we were working on the Instagram campaign, and then we talked with Larry, and he was like, "Man, like not seeing a whole lot of progress on Instagram." And we were like, "Yes, we agree." And then so we decided to switch to Facebook, and we made some Facebook marketplace posts, and it's working well. And in May, we had 3 media release published, which I will talk about in the next slide, and our final presentation. So for our results, we had the Facebook ad campaign and the 3 media releases to Shawnee News Star, Your Digital Wall, and IssueWire. And these results, the 85 clicks on listing were correct as of 2 days ago, but in the span of 2 days, we've gotten about 25 more clicks. And I was not able to edit this document today because like all the permissions and all that stuff, but yes, and we've had 4 messages about listing, and I think 2 of them personally reached out to Larry through via text and phone call. So I think those are going to go well. And for client feedback, Larry has been really busy this past week, and so we just have not gotten that feedback yet. For lessons learned, I'll just go for Mia. Communication with your client and group is important. And the reason that's her lessons learned is because the whole fiasco with her first client just didn't go very well. And my lesson learned is that it's okay to divert from the original goal if needed. Obviously, it didn't result in a lot of progress this semester, but going forward, that will be a lot more helpful for Larry than if we continue with Instagram.
And for my lessons learned, I said set weekly goals to help achieve the ultimate goal for a client, which will ultimately limit the confusion in the long run.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Dr. Green. Thank you, Larry, for giving us the opportunity to work with him.
Okay, thank you so much. Unshare your screen. Your presentation time was 6 minutes and 53 seconds within the time limit. Again, we're going to go with the same scenario, if you would. Hagens, Roth, Jackson, Hughes, followed by Gilbert.
Okay, so question, Roland, you're saying, so you guys were a split group? You had different clients, or how was that working? So Mia was on another team?
Yeah, so me and Bradley, we all consisted of team two, and Dr. Green at the beginning of the semester had two clients for us. So I was the head with Larry, Mia was the head with the other, and Bradley was just in between, just helping whoever needed help during that day or just whatever.
Okay, so the team, she was handling lead on one client and you were handling lead on the other client. And you were doing, okay. Okay, so I would say probably, what was the biggest lesson you learned during this micro internship?
Well, like I said in the presentation, like switching from Instagram to Facebook, obviously it doesn't look too good on the final presentation because like we don't have a lot of results compared to the other groups. But I truly do believe doing Facebook marketplace posts, especially in the real estate business, because this is what he wants to do. He wants to rent out office space. Doing Facebook marketplace posts versus Instagram posts and boosting on Instagram will save a lot of money and just be more helpful and more effective.
Okay, well, I did think that the pictures and the graphics of the building were really good, and I thought they added a lot to the presentation. I thought Mia sounded very professional. Y'all did a good job of getting her videoed and incorporated into the presentation.
Thank you so much. Roth?
So really great job, you guys. A very interesting project, not your basic, we've got something to sell and we've got to sell it. I mean, it's hard to sell office space. You've got to find the right person. And so I think it was really good pivoting on the social channels. One of the best things about digital that you're learning is that you can be really flexible. And sometimes you don't get those results at the end, but it's okay. And I feel like if you were able to kind of follow this for a couple more months, you would get those results that you're looking for. We change all the time just based on what's going on. And so that was a really good job. Just one question, is there anything that you would have done differently now that you're looking back on the project?
Hindsight's always 20/20. So it just right now, like it makes so much sense to just do Facebook Marketplace posts versus Instagram. But I just don't know why we didn't think of that. So that's the one thing I would change. If we just used Facebook right off the bat.
And I think that's okay. Like I said, we change all the time thinking that one channel is going to be great and it just doesn't perform well. So that's part of the flexibility. Good job.
Thank you so much. Jackson?
Great job, team, on falling forward. And I like the idea of you having a pre and a post analysis of the office space utilization. Keep in mind your target market as well. So when you think of the name Masonic Temple, we're talking Facebook people, because it's about age. So I'm glad you were able to realize, okay, maybe Instagram is not going to work here. So we're going to focus on, again, Facebook. So great job, digital natives, because everyone needs a digital native in their business to help them grow their market space. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jack. Hughes?
Okay, again, another great presentation. I like your great evaluations and the multiple avenues of analysis that you provided. You were very professional, and I like that you were able to pivot to capture the audience the best way possible. So again, good job.
And Mr. Gilbert's gonna bring the detailed analysis because he's seen it before.
I have seen it. And I gotta say that a couple of tweaks that you added that I think really, really resonated. You spoke on exactly what he offers and where. You know, there's kind of an adage in sales, always be closing. And so you never know who's listening and if someone is actually in the market for what you're presenting on. And just in case, right? Like if I'm in Shawnee and I need a co-working space, something like that, you told me where one is and you told me exactly how to get in touch with the guy. Critique, if you're going to embed videos on the slide, make sure you kind of consistently embed them in the same spot. They started to drift a little bit slide to slide. And one thing that was different time over time, good job knowing the up to the date information, even if it's not on the slide itself in regards to your results with the Facebook engagement, because there are going to be times if you work for a larger corporation, for example, marketing or operations controls collateral, but individual contributors like myself in sales are actually giving presentations and pitches, and things like product updates that just launched or new features that I'm allowed to talk to. They might not be on a corporate slide already, but if I know them, I can speak to that information and say, hey, look, this is, this was accurate, last month, but since then, here's what we've improved on. And that's something that you're able to leave with this particular presentation. And you gave this guy hope. Like, you left him with a stepping stone and brand new leads. So y'all did a really good job in this campaign, even if the presentation, you don't feel like matches other people in the class.
Good deal. And I just want to say something very quickly. I want to shout out to our career center, Laura Hagens. We work together as partners. We do a pre-analysis and a post-analysis of the student skill set. We also polling, surveying the client. And this is a perfect example. This team, athletes and people that's working. And so we set the standard high and we drive the students to that. And I put that up against MIT or any other school because I think it's very difficult to do. So great job. Let's give it an applause for team 2. And our last presentation skill, virtual, give them something, show some love. Yeah, this is a Christian school. Okay, all right. And our last presenters of today, team 5, you're up.
I'm having an issue sharing my PowerPoint.
Okay. Is it saved in? Is it saved on the? Is it saved? Is it in Canvas?
No, it's not. I had to do a lot of revision to ours actually.
Okay. Can you speak to it? I guess you'll have to speak to it then. I mean, if you don't, if you hadn't uploaded in Canvas, then go ahead and just speak to it. They'll have your attractive face, and you can just speak to the presentation.
Okay, so our client was, pull this up. Our client was Julie Hockett. She runs her own insurance company called Insurance and Financial Design. She offers all kinds of insurance from auto to home to personal and pretty much anything in between. Going into this micro internship, I was very nervous once I found out that she did in fact do insurance, because that's not a tangible product like we typically see when we're trying to market a given thing. There's nothing you can hold. And then I started trying to approach it of, so we're going to be marketing a service, not necessarily a product, but it's also not like a yard mowing service where you can have pictures of, what the yard looked like before and after. It's kind of just out there in the ether. So developing a marketing strategy was kind of difficult, but we decided we wanted to run some short videos to generate kind of some buzz on social media and just gain some more traction. Her interactions on social media weren't that high, but she did have good content on all across the board, from her website to her social media, but she was just kind of lacking that interaction through her social media and her website. But everything structure wise was very, very solid. So going into our social media post, we decided to do Instagram Reels, and we did one in particular that was able to generate 222 views, and this was pretty cool to me because that was able to increase her views by 276%. This received 13 likes, 5 shares, and 3 people saved it. And overall, 190 accounts were reached, and 140 of those were potential new clients. For our Instagram Reel, we chose a Taylor Swift song, which, if you look at me, I don't exactly look like the kind of listen to Taylor Swift, but it was a trending sound on the app, and that was able to get it on people's For You pages, just really get it out in front of people to where they could see it. I even had a friend of mine that goes to OU, and he texted me one morning just out of the blue and said that he saw me on Instagram with a Taylor Swift song in the background. So that was really neat. And especially with our generation, everything is so digital, and these short little videos that grab attention and really put just a short little video that just grabs attention and continues to generate a buzz and captivate our attention. And we tend to follow and look at those sorts of videos. So being able to market to our generation is all done through social media. The days of, radio shout outs are dwindling down, and short videos honestly are the way to go, especially to connect with the younger generations. For our client feedback, Julie said that me and Cade Self were helpful, and we brought some new ideas to the table. It was an absolute pleasure working with her. There were so many things that me and Cade both learned. One of them was learning how to market something that is not a tangible item. That was very hard for me, but it was really cool to be able to adapt and kind of overcome those challenges. Cade learned that good communication is important, and that creativity is a huge part of marketing. You have to be creative when there's not a product where you can say, hey, buy this. So we were able to gain a lot of experience through that aspect. We would like to thank everybody that made this possible. We want to say a huge thank you to Julie and Dr. Green for making all of this possible. And it was an absolute pleasure, and there was so much great experience that I had throughout this process.
Thank you so much. Great job on the cuff. Your presentation, you probably broke a record. Your presentation was 4 minutes and 10 seconds. We're gonna go ahead and continue. Ms. Hagens, Roth, Jackson, Hughes, followed by Gilbert, and then we're gonna open it up for just a general discussion.
Addison, way to go. Good pivot. I'd love to see the reels because it sounds like they were very good. And I know Julie was extremely happy with everything you guys did. I know she was very appreciative of what you did. She thought you were a great team lead, and she thought that you all did your work well and you got it done quickly. So she was very appreciative of that. So I enjoyed, didn't get to see the things, but what you presented by voice, I really appreciated, and a good job.
Thank you. Roth?
Well, good job. And this type of thing happens all the time. And so, great job, Grace under pressure. I'm sure your presentation was fantastic. So we're just going to go with that. So how did this project kind of help you decide what you might want to do for the future?
It definitely inspired me to be creative and do things that are fun, and being able to do a silly video talking about insurance and getting it in front of people to generate a buzz. It's awesome to know that I can do something really fun and be able to also effectively market whatever I'm faced with.
Awesome. Good job.
Thank you.
Jackson?
Dr. Green, I actually brought my entrepreneurial students in because I figured this was the last one. So good job on your vocal presentation. Even though you weren't able to show us visually, that's important. So again, I see you being able to fall forward regardless to, having I always call the internet, sometimes it tends to be disruptive. Things don't work the way we want them to, but you were able to push forward. Something I want to point out though is you were able to use Instagram for your particular market, and the views and the music background is critical based on the audience you're trying to address. Whereas on the last one, again, he had to use Facebook based on the specific audience. So great job with the music, selecting the music, and again, knowing your target audience. So great job.
Thank you. Hughes?
I also have students in the background run a hallway so that we can have a different group to be able to listen. So I know we wish we would have been able to see the video, but we completely understand how presentations and things work. But I also want to acknowledge you for being able to push forward and still be aware of all of your information and present in a timely fashion and show great teamwork and tenacity. And so good job.
So one of the things I'm going to bring up with the power of technology, this is recorded. We have the pre, so we have the dry run, and so that we could probably make that available. You can see the before and after. We're gonna have some correspondence with our reviewers, so you guys, I'll share that with you guys so you can kind of see that. And our final critique of this presentation will be Mr. Gilbert.
Yeah, so I'm going to give the presentation critique, and then I want to give the personal touch as well. I loved the little anecdote that you added about your buddy at OU, because that shows the informal impact of what you did. When people who have nothing to do with your campaign, and you're not even thinking they might see this, but they're engaging with it, that shows that your reach is further than you really think it is. And that's a really good spot to be in. So I really love that. When you come into a situation like this and technology fails you, hit me with just a couple of more stats so I can latch on and understand the, kind of the mathematic impact that you had. And once you do that, this is important, follow up on that afterward. There are many times in sales where I can say something verbally, but I need to follow up with the proof or the collateral to my customer so that A, they know I wasn't lying, and B, just as a way that they know that I'm still thinking of them and I want to be on the top of their mind. Now, the personal part, I love when technology fails. I love it because now I have to focus solely on you and I get to see if you actually know what you're talking about. And I think you did a really good job pivoting and saying, all right, this just went to crap. What am I going to do now? And you were still very confident in your approach. I thought you did a really good job. You really know your stuff when you can impromptu have a conversation casually in a short manner. So really good job.
Good deal. So a lot of work went into it. So are there any clients out? I want to make sure I didn't see any, but we do want to thank them. I didn't send the announcement out like I normally do. I'm putting some accountability on the students. So make sure that happens. So next, we do have some guests. We do field and building. This is a micro intern building relationships. So we have librarian Charles. If you could kind of say a few words, because you've worked with the students in the past, could you chime in a little bit?
Absolutely. Thank you. You guys all did a really good job working with your specific challenges. I'm hearing lots of good stuff. You're a credit to the university, and I'm hoping that this paints good things for you in the future. I want to especially call out Team 1 because I'm a librarian and because research is kind of my jam, for specifically saying, hey, we weren't familiar with salsa dancing, we weren't familiar with Knoxville, we weren't familiar with any of this, and so we had to go out and look at other dance instructors to see how they were doing their thing. I really appreciate you guys mentioning the benchmarking out there. I'm sure all of you did it, and obviously, the process is in there, but I love that it was directly stated that you guys got to work that in. I actually had one question for team 1, if you guys are still out there with me. What was the inspiration for the Terminator graphic? Was that?
Yeah, so Waldo was really interested in promoting AI technology. He feels like that's kind of where like the world of marketing is heading towards, and he thinks that he can really leverage that with his business coaching, and that he needs to know what he's doing in that area, because people are going to want to learn that and also like utilize that in their own marketing. So it was supposed to be kind of like a robot, like half of a robot face or like AI, and then half of his face. And that was a graphic that he had created, but we just pulled that from him and put it on the graphic. But Terminator is also good for it.
Good job. And I do not want to forget, we do have, for those who don't know, OBU just started a engineering program this fall, and we are blessed to have, I'll call him Dr. Chuck B, not like Chuck D, like the rapper, but could you say a few things? Because we're trying to innovate, and we certainly think engineering is going to be one of those innovative things that's going to be able to do it too. So could you say a few words?
Sure. Dr. Green, thank you for inviting me. This was awesome. I had another meeting, so I missed the beginning of it. But I just want to say to the students that you're seeing what the real world is like. You know, when you read the textbooks and they have a lot of theory, sometimes that theory works, but sometimes it doesn't work, especially as fast as things are changing. So it was nice to see how well you adapted to the situation, and I think this is going to be a really good preparation for when you do get into the real world to see that. So great job, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank all the guests. We're going to thank all our reviewers. Let's give our reviewers a virtual applause because they did a great job. Come on, we can do better. I gave a thumbs up. Okay. So what we're going to do, I want to have 15 to 30 seconds from each of the reviewers, your takeaway from the day. And I'm gonna ask Ms. Higgins, because she is our relationship, to give us the last word.
Okay, I think it's exciting. I think we see growth from semester to semester. I think we're getting at how important communication is and professionalism and all that. So it's exciting for me to see you guys and hear the responses back from our partners, and knowing that what we are saying is going to help you in the long run whenever you get into the real world. So kudos to all of you. Great job. And I look forward to working with you in the future.
Yeah, we're collecting data. We're actually going to be putting together some research and hopefully help. We've been helping other schools with the micro internship. Ms. Roth.
Great job, everybody. I'm so appreciative to be able to participate in this. Glad to be here. I would just say a couple of things. Number one, it never hurts to pass your presentation along to your roommate, your friend, your parents, whoever, just to get a second set of eyes. I did notice a few typos, nothing that was glaring or anything like that, but we see that when it's on your resume. So that's a good call out. Also, don't forget that all of this is great information, like we already said, to put on your resume, and do some networking, get your resumes out there. Lori's been doing an amazing job of getting people connected with jobs. And so lean on her as you're graduating, or if you're graduating next year. But really great job. Happy to be part of it.
Thank you so much. And we have a couple of our alumni grads are working along with you, and we're blessed.
Yes. MJ is just right out there. And I said, if you hear Dr. Green, then it's going to bring up some old memories in your head.
Yeah, so. I was going to say he'll probably have a breakdown because he had to do this presentation. So great job, Dr. Jackson.
Again, I just want to thank you, Dr. Green. You already know how amazing you are. And I want to share with your listening audience that Dr. Green spent extensive time with our entrepreneurship students here at Ivy Tech Community College in East Chicago, Indiana. So what does that tell you about technology? The students absolutely loved him. So it's a reflection of all of you and all the amazing things that you do. So I applaud every single one of you. Special applause to Dr. Green. I'm extremely thankful that we have this amazing relationship through ACBSP. That's our accrediting body, which is important for the business program. I will see you in Chicago, Dr. Green. Wow, next month. So thank you.
Appreciate it. I'm humble. Thank Dr. Jackson is one of my mentors. Hughes, Ms. Hughes.
I would thank you so much for the opportunity to witness these wonderful presentations. I acknowledge all of you for doing a great job. You showed lots of professionalism, tenacity, and teamwork. And yes, you were extremely fortunate to have Dr. Green as your coach, as your teacher, as your mentor. And I thank you so much to taking time from your extremely busy schedule to connect with our students, and that we were able to squeeze into your exceptionally busy schedule. But you are very fortunate to have him as a regular asset.
And we're gonna another grad. We have Mr. Gilbert. You can wrap this thing up for us.
Yeah. Again, I've sat in on many of these, and for at least a handful of you, I've seen multiple of your presentations. So I've seen the growth, not just within this week, but semester over semester, year over year. I love my alma mater. I love everything about the campus and the extended network therein. Do yourselves a favor. Every time you're on one of these, connect with every single person that's on this call. If you haven't done it from past, go back and look at the old ones and connect with them too. The OBU network is a heck of a lot deeper than you'd think.
Appreciate it. So one of the things I'm going to do, I am going to send this out. Once I get settled, we try to get through with finals. I just want to note to the team, you need to evaluate your teammates, evaluate your team and your performance, and that needs to be turned in tonight. So y'all know what happens if you don't turn that in. Okay. All right. On that note, I want you guys to have a wonderful and blessed day. And God bless OBU. Y'all take care.
Thank you so much, Dr. Green.
Appreciate it. Thank you.